Welcome back everyone, it's FNHusa57 here. We are back on Neverwinter on the Xbox One, and today I will be going over how to farm the new event, Respen's Marvelous Game. It's a pretty easy event, and you can get a few things that are decent for it. Not too much that's my favorite, but one of the things you can get is a companion, which is, okay. And then you can also get the adorable pocket pet, which is kind of like Timora's lucky coin. And that's actually the best reward from doing this. So we'll go ahead and queue up for a match. It's a little weird, just to warn you. It's definitely not my favorite event. The first time you play it, it's cool. If you're farming it, it can get a little old. I'm not quite sure what Neverwinter was thinking with this event, because, yeah, you're on a board game, so, okay, whatever. Anyways, when you first start this, you can get several different things that happen. Actually, I believe there's about 5 variants in total, and it's a little annoying because to start the skirmish, it starts off like a dungeon, and you have to have all team members in place. You can queue for it between at least level 6 and up from there. And there's all different little different ways that it plays out. You can get a dryad, you can get an altar. If you get an altar there, you can actually get a quest from the Gift of the Gods event, that's really weird, but you can actually, if you complete it, you get a Gift of the Gods. I'll show you, I have 3 of them in my inventory so far. Like I said, very strange that they have that in here, but they do.
You spot a witch toiling over a boiling
and then
cauldron in a clearing.
You come over here, and of course, sometimes you have to fight a witch, sometimes you have to fight orcs. It's really different, usually each time. You can also be in a castle, so that's another thing that can happen, is that you have a castle map that you go in and fight through, and you can actually do different things like rescue certain people, just like it was a board game. But for the most part, you get this one that's out in the woods, or you get the one that has the that little altar that you can pray at. And then you always have a couple bosses in this. Basically, they're pretty easy. Once the boss goes down, all the ads go down, and he'll drop you the crystal dice, which are important, and the Lathanders do, which is okay, because it increases action point gain. And now you can use that in addition to using a regular potion. So you can use, a potion of defense or a potion of power or something like that, and use one of the event food items. So that's pretty cool if you're gaining action points slow. So like for my paladin, I'll put a bunch of these over there on my paladin. It is really weird because, at this point, they did not even bother to put enemies as much as they just put dice. I don't know. Like I said, first time you do this, it's interesting. The more that you farm it, though, the more it starts to get okay, this is just strange when it comes to an event. But pretty easy to go through, pretty quick to go through. Also, since this is active while there's a double diamonds event, you can get about 6,000 rough astral diamonds the first 2 times you complete it. And assuming that you're of a higher level than level 6, you can just run through and pull most of the enemies together and then kill them really quickly.
Who would dare to interrupt the sacrifice?
And there we go. I mean, it's kind of cool. You have all the main storyline heroes that, you can see all playing a board game. So, in one respect, it's cool. In another respect, it's a bit strange.
Your priest of Grumps completes the ritual and summons forth a pit fiend.
And you have to deal with this guy, who's basically the final boss. And if you get in this area, This guy's the final boss. Otherwise, there's 2 different bosses that you can get if you go into a castle area. And he's pretty easy to kill. It really doesn't take very long, other than the fact that he has all of his attacks do knockback. So if you're fighting up close, it will knock you down to the ground or knock you back, which can make it take extra time more than it needs. And unlike the first boss, these 2 enemies that spawn here, they don't disappear. Again, you get more crystal dice, which is what you use to buy, you know, all the event items. And then open the chest and you're going to get enchantments, more different food items, the diamonds, and the crystal dice, and some silver. And then just leave group, and that's it. Now I'm going to run this one more time to see if I get a different map there to at least show you the other options. But other than that, it's pretty simple. So it's always going to be the same thing where you're on a board game. It's just sometimes what you actually have to do changes. So sometimes it goes from being that wooden forest-like map to being a castle, and then sometimes you actually get, you know, different bosses that you have to fight. So now most of the time you do only get usually 1 of those crystal dice. If you're really lucky, you'll get like a total of 4 crystal dice every time you run this. And actually, I got pretty lucky here because it is the castle map. So I will get to show you the castle map as well. Of course, this can be a little bit glitchy because if you join a game in progress, then sometimes you don't spawn on the right side of that door, so just keep that in mind. These guys are really, really easy to kill, and you have to find keys. And basically, there's all different rooms that you can go in. Pretty much I just follow the main path because there's not really anything great in this. Like, you can't get one of the gift of the gods like you can on the forest map because there's no altar that gives you that quest. For some reason, this guy takes longer to kill than on the forest map. So, in a way, I like the forest map better because I think the forest map is actually faster than this one. But it's kind of personal preference, and it depends heavily on the team that you get. Because if you get a team that's made up of a bunch of level 6s or 7s, it's going to take you a lot longer to do than if you have a team made up of level 70s. Because it does change your rank. It gives you a buff if you're not level 60, and it gives you a bit of a negative if you are 70. It lowers your stats down just to kind of make it a little bit more fair, but not so much. Also, this chest is a mimic. I'm not entirely sure why he opened that chest, because mimics are harder than they need to be to deal with. There's nothing in there. And then, yeah, here's your boss. Now, this guy can be literally like 3 different bosses is what can be in this castle area. This guy's really annoying because he has that attack that pins you to the ground, and he always targets like the person that does the most damage. So right now that's me, and that's just annoying because you have to keep teleporting around him. Even though there's a paladin on the team, he still targets me, and then he's gone. And you pick up your crystal dice and Lathander's Dew and go to the next level. So this map definitely takes a lot longer because there's 2 levels to it, compared to the forest map that there's basically 1. So this is the second part of this castle map, which there's even more alternate rooms that you can go in. There's also a gelatinous cube here, so kind of watch out for that because they're dangerous. Even with a healer, they're still very dangerous. And they stun you. You can also go into each one of these side rooms even though you don't have to. Sometimes you have, depending on what boss it is, sometimes you have another enemy you have to fight. Sometimes you have an adventurer that you can help and they'll join you for the fight. So there's all kinds of different things that can actually happen when you go in those side rooms, which is kind of cool. There's an area in here that you can get a key early, but you have to deal with these guys. Of course, they're rotters though, so I can pretty much eradicate them all at once. And then you pick up the key. So you have the mithril key, and the reason why I pick up the key early is because, well, the door coming up requires the key, so you might as well pick it up ahead of time. And this would be the set of doors that requires that mithril key that I picked up. Again, this final boss can be several different bosses actually. All different ones from in the campaign. So keep that in mind. It's not always going to be the same boss. So that makes it a little bit more unpredictable to fight. But relatively easy enough to just kill. Make sure you get your crystal dice from the boss, and then collect your rewards, which in this case didn't give me but 1 crystal dice, but hey, that's okay. I'm happy with that. So basically, real quick off of doing those 2 runs, I got a total of about 6 crystal dice, and you need 36 crystal dice in order to buy the pocket pet, which is actually the most useful thing from this event. So hopefully, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave a comment. Otherwise, smash the like button. Remember to share the video and go ahead and subscribe for more content. So thanks for watching.